Hello, listeners, and welcome to another big edition of the 2 Units podcast. We have specs across 4 states this weekend. It is Goodwood Day at Morphettville, rounding out a terrific 3-day carnival in the City of Churches. We're back at Caulfield in Victoria, Gosford in New South Wales, and it's starting to heat up in Queensland as well for those banana benders. A pretty good edition of the Group 2 Hollindale up there on the Gold Coast as I welcome in the Sultan.
Great to be here, mate. I actually, when I was doing the form this weekend, my main focuses were Caulfield, Morphettville, had a look at Gosford, and then I forgot that the Queensland racing was on, and it's actually one of the best races of the entire day.
Yep.
If not, it's probably the most intriguing race of the entire day. Hollindale, now that Pride of Jenny's in it, like we say it every single, but now she's in the race, it's just like, well, it just completely changes the angle of it.
I feel like a broken record
I know.
player every time she goes around. It's like, well, this is intriguing. Yeah. Jenny's running around in this
fascinating
race. But it actually is, because you've got the Melbourne Cup winner. You've got, I think, an up-and-coming star, and she's a hustler.
Caulfield Cup winner.
Absolutely.
She's a hustler.
Yeah,
yep.
So there is a little bit to it. I can't wait to talk about the actual tactics of the race though with you when we get into that part of the specs. But getting a bit hungry, mate, so we might head to the supper.
This fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty, turkey-filled, cold-cut combo. I eat 3 every day to help keep me strong.
What do you got for us, Saltsy?
Have you been watching the Warrnambool coverage?
Been tuning into a little bit of it, yeah.
It's great. He's a great mate of mine, Matty Stewart, but he's just got to come to the supper and get some recognition for what he's doing for racing and what he does for the Warrnambool Carnival as well. There's never been a person more where what you see as their television persona is just what they are.
It's good to hear, because I don't know Matty Stewart. And
I feel like you do.
I was messaging you day one of the carnival being like, I just feel like, g'day, how are you?
Like you've never known someone more that you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
What do they call that? A
parasocial relationship, Saltsy, they call that.
Well, I feel like a few people would have it with that. I mean, it's big fella, it's hey listen, it's fair income, it's great, we love it.
Is, yeah.
It's how many are you going to have tonight after each winner? And how big? Where's the party? How big's the party? And it's just brilliant. He's just so vivacious.
He's built for the Warrnambool Carnival. Let's be honest. Yeah,
it's outstanding, and I just absolutely love his work. And I do really love the Warrnambool Carnival. Just namely watching it at home. I've usually just got too much work on to be able to go there.
I'll be honest, I don't have an appetite. I've never been to one, so I might be converted if I do. So I've got to hold a little bit of judgment around that. Yeah. But I don't have maybe because it's in footy season too, I don't have an appetite to go to one, but I do very much enjoy watching from afar.
Is that because you like to talk to the fairer sex? Potentially.
Well, that isn't the case at all, but it is.
That has been floated as some reasoning.
It is. I've heard on various channels that it's because it's a sausage sizzle.
Yeah.
But no, that's not the reason at all. I think in a different life, like there's a bit of, people drink a bit of the bull Kool-Aid, don't they? Like there's a Kool-Aid component to Warrnambool. There's no doubt about it. But I can totally understand where it comes from too, because perhaps when you and I are 50 and maybe have kids and it's looking for that time to get away for a few days midweek.
Be brilliant.
It might just be the greatest outlet ever. And people have it as, this is in our calendar where I go catch up with Salts every single year. We have that with Stakes Day with our group of mates. It can kind of
be like our Stakes Day, but you get to do it three days
times in a row. And people just love drinking
when we're in our 50s, we'll go do it.
Yep.
But what I love about the carnival, and it just sort of has reminded me about what I love about big races, is grand final racing. Nothing can beat it when multiple horses are in a race and the trainer and the jockey are just desperate to win it. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen enough in Australian racing because there's so many Group 1s that are lead-ins where horses are going around and really, if it's a big camp and a big owner, and they run second in a Group 1, deep down, they almost don't really care that much because they're grand finals ahead. So with the jumps races, I don't follow jumps racing throughout the season that closely, but I really actually do enjoy it at the Warrnambool Carnival because it means a lot to the trainers.
Yeah.
And they're just desperate to win those races. And when horses and, any athlete is in a race where that is their target and that's what they've been geared up to, it just makes it so much more of a spectacle. And
it's a good call, because when those opportunities are scarce, and that is jumps racing at the moment in Australia in terms of, what's available, like the appetite for them to win those particular races is going to be far greater. And I think there's a bit to be said that you can convert that conversation to flat racing as well. Like we always talk about 70 odd Group 1s, but there's always been that discussion around, well, do we make them majors like platinum Group 1s? Do we rename them? Because, the Tats Tiara versus the Cox Plate, they're completely different Group 1s. I know one's a mares and one's weight for age, but
yeah,
they're at the end of the day, you go, I rode, like if someone says, I trained a Group 1 winner, well, what Group 1 winner did you train? Like I think, or ride in, there's a stark contrast between a few of those.
Yeah, there is. So that's what I want to bring to the supper is races where everyone really actually wants to win it.
Yep, great call. I'm going to bring Laurie along, just slid into some of the Facebook comments. I did a piece with Jack Gunston for 7 Horse Racing, which was good fun.
That was very good.
About 6 weeks ago now, I did that. So
I saw some skepticism around the timing.
Just to give you a timeline.
That's been in the can for a long time.
That has been in the can for a long time. It might have been put on hold for a couple of weeks, but it was put in the can for a long time.
How could you possibly watch that? You don't need to respond to this, but how could anyone with half a brain watch that and just not see that it was a bloke that just really loves horse racing? That's what I got out of that.
Thanks, mate.
And I got out of it that you're also part of what is just a truly magnificent podcast.
I'll tell you what, before I get on to my actual supper invite, I think there was a fair bit filmed in that interview. I gave you, Sultan, a pretty good pump up for about 3 minutes, and they thought, you know what? We might just leave this bit on the cutting room floor. It didn't quite make the final edit. So I don't know if I didn't deliver it well or if you should take that personally.
Yep. Well, I guess you got to keep everyone on side these days, but maybe some 7 executives could pop up and pack your nags.
Perhaps so.
You do not sack the salts.
Yeah. One thing I did make mention of, which is how I'm getting to this supper invite, was I spoke to Osborne Bulls, being one of my favourite horses of all time, and you're complicit in this because we used to back him blindly. He was just an absolute corker of a horse. We didn't care where he went; he'd get back, rip home. It was just great fun.
Every time he won, he paid $3.80 or $3.20.
Yeah,
it was just brilliant. Like that. Yeah, it's just that perfect sweet spot.
Yep, best horse to never win a Group 1 was my comment, and someone who's part of the lifetime care program at Godolphin. But he got in touch and dropped a photo of Osborne Bulls at an aged care facility, meeting up with some of the oldies. He's a big sweetie. He's a big old sweetie. So he's doing some terrific work post career, Osborne Bulls. Laurie gets an invite at the supper for popping that photo into the unit's inbox.
That's good. Peppertree Hill Retirement Village there out in Warrnambool Stud Park. Maybe
I'll chuck that up on the YouTube
Aussie
too.
Bulls. That's good.
There we go.
I want to bring Wendell Sailor, which is what I'm calling my new laptop, my Dell.
Hang on.
Intel Core 5.
You're only allowed to name things after horses that have won, or, like Cafe Millennium with my coffee machine. Did you have Dell for first try score or something?
No, this is extenuating circumstances because he's a big Queenslander.
Okay.
He liked to have fun and he liked to score tries.
Yes.
So Dell, they come to the supper because last week I said that my laptop had broken, and that was a Dell, but it was also like 5
rolling in the deeper Dell
opposed
to Wendell Sailor.
Yeah, it was. It was drowning though, and it was 5 years old, and the screen had busted a couple times. But to be fair, I bought like a pretty cheap model, like the plastic one.
Yep.
And I dropped it off my bed, because I watch YouTube on my laptop as I'm going to sleep, or Workaholics, or South Park, whatever.
And it falls off the bed. It
fell off the bed a lot. And there was multiple times where, remember we stayed in that Airbnb at Hillsville?
Yes.
Yeah, that had like hardwood floors. It fell off the bed then. It probably lasted longer than it should have. But I ordered it before we went on it, before we recorded this last week at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it arrived at my house the next day at 10:30.
Yep.
This aluminium number. So
Aluminum.
I got one just a little bit sturdier.
Yep.
In case I fall asleep and it falls off my lap again.
That's not as fast as the Apple. You can Uber them from JB Hi-Fi now just to one up you here, Salts. But I think my new laptop arrived in an hour and a half.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
Same day, hour and a half.
pretty dynamite. Just buy Uber, puts them in the Uber delivered. So, I mean, you're just living in the old days.
Well, I
Salts.
could have done that with the Dell, but
Yep.
they were cheaper from the actual website itself.
Yep.
So much like I think David King is sponsored by HP, I'm looking out for a Dell sponsorship. I want to be reimbursed.
Yeah, exactly right. What else have we got? A bit of FUFO.
Yeah, FUFO. So there's FOFO. Yeah, which is F around. What?
Find
No,
out.
FAFO.
FAFO.
Yeah,
F around, find out.
FO round. Find out. There's a new phrase that's been coined by a fan of the 2 units, and it's FUFO.
Yep.
And it's regarding social media health and how we were talking about, well, you know, if someone just comes onto one of your posts and calls you a cockhead or a dickhead or a C-bomb or anything like that, well, they wouldn't do it in the street, so you just block them.
Yep.
So, well, why do you think that you've got the right to converse with me?
Yes.
If that's how you say hello.
Yes.
And introduce yourself. So there's a new saying, and we're going to continue to apply it, and it's FUFO, and it's fuck up and fuck off.
Yeah, FUFO.
Yeah.
And it is imperative to social media health.
It is.
And that's been coined by one of our mates, Xavier Ellis, who actually sent that in. He's a big time listener to the show.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what name dropped,
right
but
across
yeah.
the Nullarbor. No, he's a long
big
time
fan.
2 units fan.
He'll be having a beer
He reached out
tonight,
Yep.
and he'll be cooking his dinner, and he'll be enjoying the units.
Oh.
And things that he say, we take on board and we like it.
That goal regulation says or what? So you will listen to every damn word I have to say! I seen those finger paintings you bring home and they suck! I'll come!
Salts, I absolutely love the relationship we have with the Dare to Dream team over there in South Australia, just doing terrific stuff in the ownership space as an extension of Racing South Australia.
It's the best website in racing.
And what I'd like to think is like we are somewhat the pin-up boys of Dare to Dream. Like we've got, yeah, you'd think we're the number 1s and 2 seeds, footy and Salts, over there at Dare to Dream. There's something that caught my eye from the weekend. Guys, I know you got Group 1 racing in your state, but Bruce McAvaney doing solo monologues on the Dare to Dream socials pages. Guys, that's our domain. We know he's the GOAT, but don't do us dirty like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sending Bruce packing. I'm not so much sending Dare to Dream packing. I'm just putting a few on notice.
They should get us to do it with Bruce.
That seems like a no-brainer to me.
And maybe we could help out his craft as well.
Yeah.
Give him a few pointers.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Only the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah. Feedback's a gift. I'm
is.
sure he'd be open to getting something from the Salts.
All right. Well, let's keep that on board.
Okay. I've this week, we'll get into one in the specs a little bit later on, but we had a good discussion, Warrnambool Day 1. Jabberwocky's a favourite in a 2-mile race. What would you say Jabberwocky's best distance is, Salts?
Well, I distinctly remember him as a specialist over 1,400 metres.
Yep.
So, like, that's what I was saying. When I looked at the early markets for Warrnambool, I saw his name. I don't follow the jumps race. I saw his name and I saw he was favourite in a race over 3,200 metres on what was going to be a wet track. I thought, well, this guy's a 1,400 metre specialist. Is this the worst $2.50 chance in the history of racing?
Yep.
And it proved that it was.
Yeah, I think it was. But I think there might be one on Saturday at Caulfield that could be the worst $4 favourite in the history of racing. And I'm speaking of Bustling in race number 6.
But at his best, is the best horse in the race,
Carrying
isn't he?
62 kilos.
Yeah.
I think
Mark
this
Zahra.
is I don't care. This is a bad week for favourites.
Were any of the others get named up at an Everest?
His last time he actually raced where he didn't get beaten home by the ambulance was in Perth over 1,400 metres over 2 years ago. I'm not saying he doesn't possess ability, but you can't keep that safe. You've got to wind that out and say, take me on. I think we could potentially have seen the 2 worst favourites in the history of horse racing in a week.
Jeez. Big call. Someone's going to be nervous when the race 6 comes around at Caulfield.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even have a bet in the race.
No, you just lay him, mate.
Exactly.
$4.
Yeah. What else have we got, Salts?
Well, there's a lot of quick backups at Warrnambool.
Yeah.
Like they run on Monday and then or Tuesday, then they run again on Thursday.
Just terrific resilience.
It is resilience. It actually is resilience, And granted, you've got to have a fitness base. You've got to have done the long and slow to build the base to be able to handle that backup.
And the constitution to do so.
Spot on. And the constitution. Part of that's training, part of it is the animal.
Uh-huh.
And most of it is the animal.
Yep.
But whenever there's a 1 or 2 day backup, the narrative is always, oh, what a terrific training performance. I'm pretty sure they just walk the horse back to its barn and feed it. Do they not? The vet just looks at it and the trainer looks at it and they feed it. And if it eats all its food to suggest that it's still happy, then they just run it again. No. It's a harder training performance to train a winner who might have won first up and then they have 6 weeks off into their second up run. That's a good training performance.
Do you think the training performance angle might actually be in reference to the 6 months lead up to the fact they know they're going to back up within 48 hours?
Well, state that explicitly. It's because you and I could train a horse on a 2-day backup.
Yeah.
Just give it some rail oats.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I don't mind that stuff, so
if it doesn't eat it, then you don't run it.
We haven't missed Warrnambool on this program today.
Have you seen the Fed Square?
I have.
Hoopdala.
I have seen the Fed Square. I assume you're referencing the fact that we won't be able to view the FIFA World Cup in Fed Square this year.
Yeah, well, I've got some news on that because now we will be able to see it at Fed Square. So
is that because have they listened to Brad Batten?
No.
Okay.
Quite the contrary. Okay. This is how it's gone down.
You got a timeline.
I've got a bit of a conspiracy theory.
Yep.
So firstly, the CEO of Fed Square, who's quite clearly extremely artsy, just a reminder that we paid for Fed Square to be built. So it's actually our space. And the World Cups there, both men's and women's, go off.
Yep.
All right? Now, this is what I think...
There are a couple of rascals that get around there, though.
Totally.
With
this is what I
flares
think
and whatnot.
should happen is just so there's not farmers in Mildura paying for all the security and stuff like that, because it shouldn't be their taxes. Just charge like a token entry fee, cover the security and stuff, ramp it up, and actually have entry points and actually check people. Because in Australia, we're not flare culture.
Yep.
We don't like it. And it looks, when we score a goal at Fed Square and there's flares flying off at eye level, it's just irresponsible. It's stupid. It's not part of our culture. Go there and celebrate and throw your drinks in the air and go nuts. It's great. We love that. Just leave the flares out of it because that's the 5% that the CEO was alluding to that are ruining it for everyone. So get on top of that.
Yeah. Is it also... I think it's also to do with a lack of police availability for the actual events, which I find really interesting, given the fact that anyone that wants to host a protest every Sunday in the city, it's well supported. But you're banning an event in Fed Square because of lack of police presence, but we waste the resources on the same group of people that don't even know what they're protesting every Sunday.
That's a great point you make, and it looks like the people making the decision are the type of people that go to the protests and also don't really know what fun looks like. So they don't consider fun in their decision making. Maybe if the police weren't busy pulling me over on a 15% decline on Mount Dandenong, they could show up to Fed Square. But this is where I think it's a bit of a setup. So they banned it. And I would suggest that the CEO of Fed Square is quite progressive.
Artsy, I think you've said. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then 10 minutes later, basically, Jacinta Allen came out with a press release saying, well, I disagree with this decision. And now we're going to make it open to the public and provide the resources.
Oh. It's the old shake and bake.
I think this is a set play, and I think she could have come out of the slipstream.
There's a bit of Talladega Nights
There
about
is.
this.
There's some shake and bake. Someone's playing second fiddle.
There's some ferocious shake and bake going on here. Okay.
So it's going ahead now, and we're looking for some pats on the back. Well, it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yep.
Footy, the unit army loves backing winners, but owning one, that'd put some lead in the pencil.
That's exactly what Dare to Dream are all about, making racehorse ownership affordable, fun and accessible for everyday fans.
So we're talking shares in horses with some of South Australia's top trainers?
Yep. Race day perks, stable visits and a great community. The full ownership experience.
Sounds expensive.
That's the beauty of it. You don't need to be a high roller to get involved. Jump in with your mates, own a share and experience the full thrill of having a runner.
Get involved today at daretodream.com.au. Your next stable star might even earn a spot on the jet board.
Welcome back. It is now time for SULTS Specs, where we've got specs across 4 states this week. We're going to start in South Australia, SULTS. We've talked about the order a little bit last week on the show, the quality racing rising to the top, and we've made the executive decision now to give the new ball, or the opening the batting rather, to Morphettville this week because it's Goodwood Day.
There's just no other way to describe it as being extremely well deserved. There's no other track in Australia on Saturday I've had more bets at.
We're all forgiving.
It's a perennial good 4. I know it's in the soft range now.
Yep.
But it's improving, and it'll get to the good 4 range. The rail's 7 metres. The further they move the rail out on this course, the more they get off the fence. Last week, you could still win lanes 2 to 14. Like, they were edging off the fence.
Yep.
And the jockeys were saying that it was a bit better further out. But, Strictly Business went up the fence. They still won in lanes 2 to 14. But now rail goes 3 to 7. And it was a very wet track last week. So they sort of got into that. I think they'll edge off the fence looking for better going. Light winds, no impact.
Do they get a bit sheepy sometimes, the jocks, where they'll see someone hit a winning lane and then just make the call that, this is the best part of the track, and everyone sort of follows suit, and then you sometimes see one buck the trend and go back to the inside, and you're like, well, was it that bad anyway?
It can happen. And my advice to jockeys that do win
Yep.
when that is happening, make sure you say in your post-race interview, even if you didn't, just lie. Say, I went and walked the track and I don't know what they're on about because my track walker intel, those lanes were fine. So I just stuck there. So use me on any other wet tracks you see because I'll just find the best lane for you.
Brilliant. Brilliant by you.
Liam Reardon would do that, I reckon.
Yeah, he's a rascal.
I'll walk the track. Lanes were best. Don't know what they're on about.
He'd walk it in his RMs too, show how to polish them up.
Pretty sure all the tracks in Malaysia are firm twos.
Race 1 on the program. It's a 0 to 86 over 1,800 metres, and you're getting involved nice and early in the day.
I am. Bolted in. He's racing career best form. He just missed a couple back at Balaclava over 1,600 metres. He got to 1,800 metres for the first time last start on that deteriorating track at Morphettville. So he's on the quick backup, as are a lot of his rivals through this race. Smother comes through the race. Every other horse that comes through this race, he was just clearly better than. He was back held up. He darted to the inside. His best work was through the line. He gets Zach Lloyd on. I think he just blends in midfield. And if he runs up to last start, I think he wins the race.
Yep, he's currently $4.80 some corpse at the moment. So he's drifted a little bit. He opened 4. He got out touch 5. He's around 4.80 at the moment.
I marked him 4.
Okay.
So I'd be advising to take that 4.80.
Yep. Let's get to race 2 on the program. This is the Carbine Club of South Australia, benchmark 64, sorry. It's for the 3-year-olds. There's a really smart looking operator here for the Jolly Camp that we're both keen on being with, and that is Bredham All, who's your $2.30 favourite.
Well, he was out of his grade first up. He was on debut in a benchmark 62 for the 3-year-olds. He nailed Odessa, who was only just nailed late on the line last week and has won races. So it's got to be the right form.
Yep. And
it was fast time over 1,000 metres. It's only an extra 50. I think the actual course proper as opposed to the parks will suit him as well because he looks like he's got a bit of substance. He's got a big stride. He looks quite strong.
The extra 50 is good. He was getting hot through the line.
Totally. The only way I really see him losing is if sometimes horses in their first prep, they can come to the end of it.
Yep.
At their second run.
Yep.
Like if he holds what he did last start or improves off it, good luck.
Yeah.
I think he's a great bet. Harry Grace as well, making the move permanently to Adelaide. He rode a couple on a feature. That. Yeah, he rode a couple on a feature day the other day. He's seen him well at the moment. So, yeah, from barrier 1, I reckon this horse will shoot forward. I wouldn't be surprised if he just leads him.
Yep. He's a half-brother to Sabaj as well.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. So, just a bit of progeny stuff for you there, Sults, just to kick off the show.
It's good from you.
Race 3. This is the Group 3 David Cole Stakes for the 2-year-olds, 1,200 metres. I'm going to have a bet here. I'm going to have a couple of bets, actually. And I'm going to be siding with the fillies in Marbles and Ice Lady. I'm confident one of the fillies can win this race. So Marbles, she's trotted up really nicely under her own steam. She's drawn beautifully for Daniel Stackhouse, looks ready to win on debut. And the other is Ice Lady. She closed strongly behind Wonderful Sky at Pakenham last start. Wonderful Sky since been runner-up in the Breeders' Stake behind Vizane. You can tie a couple in through that. 1,200 metres, a big tick for her. So I'm going to play the two fillies in this race to knock off the boys. And if we're looking at prices, we've got $9 around Ice Lady and $6.50 for Marbles. So that's how I'm going to be playing the juveniles in the third Sultsy.
Barrier 4 for Marbles. It's a pretty good marble on debut.
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Thanks,
been better. Race 4 on the program. Feedback's a gift. It's the listed Centaurea Stakes. This is for the mares over 2,033 metres. You're getting involved with a few different plays here, aren't you? You're sort of slinging them around a little bit. You got a 3 better, and I've got a 1 better, and that takes us to 4 different nags.
Shit. I got black bookers coming at me yin-yang here. One of them was Mating Call, and this was the race that I thought that she'd go to after being pretty unlucky in the Oaks over 2,000 metres. So that's obviously pretty good form for this 3-year-old Group 1 form. She's favourite, but my knock on her and why I actually want to be against Mating Call, lay her at the price, is because her last 2 runs, she sort of gets back in fast tempo races. And from this wide gate, she'll get back again. But I'm not sort of seeing the same tempo that she's copped in those last 2 races and that has allowed her to finish off strongly and run past a few tired ones. So I reckon at that price, she is a little bit of a vulnerable favourite.
Could they be more positive with her, just given how deep she is into a prep now, staying at 2,000?
I don't... She sat 3 wide, no cover on speed in 1,000 guineas, but it's a bit of an outlier. She is quite regularly awkward or slow away,
yeah.
So I wouldn't bank on that.
Yep.
The other one in the market is Polymnia, who did beat one that I like, Maisie, a couple back at Rosehill, but Maisie was second up, soft track, 14 to 1,900 metres, had some things against. Polymnia's only ever won a Hawkesbury maiden, so the tenacity has to be questioned, and now she's got to rise to 2,033 metres. So, for a bit of a non-winner, I've got a non-winner second favourite and one that I think is not going to get tempo to suit favourite. So that's why I can have 3 bets. Brave Miss, I thought the run of Maisie was better than Brave Miss in the Queen of the South last start. But Brave Miss was second up after being quite dynamic first up. Maybe she had a right to be a bit flat. I loved her return there behind Gold Coast Bell under a big weight at Caulfield. And she's a 2,000 metre mare, so she's getting to her right trip. I want to back Brave Miss. I want to back Maisie, who was stronger on the line than Brave Miss last start. And I think all preparation, she's been desperate to get to 2,000 metres once she actually has a base. So she's got that now. And she actually can be positive from a wide draw, Maisie. Not in the camp to do so, but she's got a bit of tactical speed. And the other one was Autumn Slide, who I'm hoping they elect to come here. They probably will, given I got her pegged as a bit of a dry tracker. And we're looking at a potential soft track at Caulfield and drawn inside. I think she's a big track, dry track mare, ready to get to 1,600 metres, 2,000 metres after savaging the line in an easier race last start. At set weights and penalties, she's poorly weighted, but I do think this is the trip she's looking for. So I want to back those 3 against the 2 that are in the market.
So Brave Miss is $7, Maisie's 10, Autumn Slide's 13. are you backing them to win the same amount? Is there
Correct, yeah.
Yep. So
Yep.
you're backing them all to win the same amount. Well, you're going to go to the next line of betting for me because I'm pretty keen on Private Legacy here on an each way basis. I think she is one of the value bets of the day anywhere in the country. She won this race last year, beating She's a Hustler, which don't mention the war there, Saltsy, but
I'll just tell a quick story about that.
sure.
Good friend of the show, Geordie Childs, but I don't think She's a Hustler really got given every chance last start. Oh, not last start, when she lost this last year. And it was actually the first. I was driving up to Mount Beauty and with my partner, and it was we'd stopped at for a break.
Yep.
And it just happened to coincide with this race.
And my alarm went off just before the break.
And it was the last leg of a multi, and it was actually quite a good result. And it was the first time that she saw any sort of like aggression when
volatile behaviour.
The phone got placed down like with a fair bit of force.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a great memory that day when Private Legacy nabbed She's a Hustler after a torrid run in transit.
Yeah, I've seen that many times before. And guess what? Well, there's no She's a Hustler here, but Private Legacy remains in this race 12 months on. What she did do was she won this race off a very average run in the Queen of the South last year leading in. I thought her run this year in the Queen of the South had some real merit about it because she raced in restricted room. She got in a bumping duel with World's My Oyster at about the 400, and then she had to change course and then was steadied off heels at the 100. What we do know about her is, she's only had 2 career wins, but she loves racing at Morphettville. She clearly loves the 2000. Ben Melham's won on her before. There's a lot of ticks next to her Private Legacy, and she's pretty close to $20. So I think she's the best each way play, I'm going to call it, in the country on Saturday in the Centuria Stakes. Let's get to anything in race 5, Salts?
No, that was a tough race.
Yep.
I haven't heard anything about it, but something must have gone wrong with Classic Gem because Dom Sutton had been saying that this was the race he was taking her to, and she would have been $1.50, but she doesn't show up here, and all of a sudden it's $6 the field.
Yep. Yeah, I've gone the Steve Smith shouldering of arms to race number 5, but we're both combining with some tortured minds in the coming stakes in race number 6 on the program because Aaron Bay, who's, let's face it, just as tough as old boots, old Aaron, he lobs here as your $2.25 favourite in the coming stakes. And I think just given the fact he's a 105 rater carrying 56.5 under the set weights plus penalties conditions, that's 5 less than last start. He looks bloody well in.
Well, he belted Chicago Storm when he last raced Aaron Bay, and he meets Chicago Storm a kilo better off at the weights, and through that race pudding, teardrop rotation, he meets significantly better off at the weights. I think there's a case to be made that this horse is the most in-form horse in Australia over his past 3 runs.
Really?
But since they've put the blinkers on, he's just gone to a new level. He's been running fast times under big weights from up on speed, and it wouldn't have been a great watch for you last start as a Cash backer. Cash had him cold, and then this guy was just like, with a big weight on his back, 7.5 kilos more than Cash that he had.
Still trying to work out if it was a combination of Cash going for the leader of Pure Light Start, or if it was Aaron Bay being as tough as they get.
I think Aaron Bay is just a significantly better horse than him.
Yeah. I think. I think Cash was a bit of a thinker as well, though.
That's fair. But they just belted the rest. Look, he's just bulletproof, isn't he? He goes up on speed. He follows across sort of She-Light, maybe lets Super Lad go, parks in behind them, gets a sweet trip. Yep. He's a favourite that's pretty easy to like. Yeah,
I agree. And Zach Lloyd on board as well. Where's Lockie having a holiday? Neindorf. I think he might be.
I think he did.
I think he got a suspension,
yeah. He did.
Because I was intrigued why Zach Lloyd was on. Zach Lloyd's a bloody star, but Lockie Neindorf's been riding him an absolute treat. So, well, we're both playing Aaron Bay in race number 6. Race number 7, this is the Proud Miss Stakes. It's a race that we both want to get involved in. It's a Group 3. It's for the fillies and mares over 1,200 metres. What do you like?
I love
Ooh.
the placement here of Aviatress. So you mentioned the weight of Aaron Bay and how he's so well placed. Well, like she's the absolute clear top raider in this field, Aviatress, with the absolute best form around her. And she's only got 57 kilos. Like, this is a mare who excels first up. Last preparation, she produced a huge last 600 metres on the heels of Watch Me Win, who's a good horse. Second up, she beat Boston Rocks. Third up, she placed a Hedged. Like, she's got form around really good boys. And here she is against her own sex with a great weight. Her sole trial leading into this was an absolute beauty. Like, I'm staggered that we could shop $4.80 for her. She's a stupid price.
She's a good mare. To give, I guess, paint the picture for the unit army out there in terms of what the market's doing. There's 5 runners in single figures. You got Aviatress, Bossy Nick, and Nafa. They're all $5. So you got 3 horses currently sharing favouritism. Then you're out to Farivia at $7.50 and Kokako. Kokako?
I don't know, but I just can't believe that she's $5. Why is she $5?
All right.
So much better than him.
Pretty keen on Aviatress. I'm with Nafa in this one. I thought her return at Mornington was excellent. It was a race that set up for the swoopers. Torsheen and the Volta came from the back of the field to finish over the top of her. She was pretty good. The time at Mornington certainly suggested she ran really well that day. They haven't been disgraced, Torsheen and the Volta, since. They went 7 lengths faster than the 1,200 metre race that was won by Not Surprised, who's also here. So there was a bit of substance on the clock in that race. Not a lot of speed here. I think she can settle positively from the draw, and I think it's a pretty nice platform for her to and set up for her to be winning Nafa. She's always teased a little bit of ability, and I think she won't probably get a better chance in terms of a platform second up to step up and be winning.
I've got a bit of a theory on this, Philly. You know how you can have horses that don't run the ratings but keep elevating? I think she's the opposite. Like, she actually runs some all right numbers, but I reckon the numbers lie. I just think she's flat out. I just think she's no good. I think she's weak. I think she's pretty weak.
Well, she's drawn barrier 2, Zachy Lloyd on board.
I just think she's not much of a horse.
She's going to have every opportunity to prove that she's not a weakling on Saturday.
Yeah, she'd want to get 10 off Aviatress. The fact they're the same price is it's offensive to connections.
Let's talk the Group 1. Let's get to the Goodwood.
Stop teeing off on you.
No, not me. It's the horse.
Yeah, that's true.
And given your track record, when you do go down that alley, it doesn't end too well for you usually.
I've got no doubt that this one ends well. Lay at the place.
I'm going to put her on the jet board if she wins. I'm going to put her underneath She's an Alibi if she wins. It's the Group 1 Goodwood SULTS. Interesting field assembled for the Goodwood. You'd say Ray Magnerio's your favourite at 460, Flying for Fun, who comes through the Sangster, who is, clearly the tragedy beaten through the girls' race. Extra Galactic is doing a lot in this preparation, $6 third line of betting. Tycoon Star at $7.50. Then you get out to Talk and Co, Grand Larceny, Watch Me Win, and the rest. What do you make of it?
I think once Flying for Fun wins...
This race,
I think a lot of people are just going to be saying, oh, yeah, actually, that makes a whole lot of sense because of what happened in the Sangster. Like, she obviously should have won. Regarding what I make of the race, there's not a great deal of tempo. So, she just want to be blending in that running line. But if they're not going too hard, that means a mare with a big turn of foot is in striking distance. New York Luster, Sherpa, Power Bow goes forward. They've got a lightweight Extra Galactic. They won't want to be right up on speed, but they'll want to use like a good middle alley and that lightweight sort of blender in midfield. Tycoon Star probably has to go forward. Ray Magnerio sits in behind them, and Rich has been missing the start. It's not like there's no intrigue around Giga Kick or anything this year. If Ray Magnerio didn't pop over on his way back from Perth as well, it would have been a pretty weak Group 1. But I still think that the race has a bit of substance, particularly from a betting perspective. And Flying for Fun...
I'm glad you said from a betting perspective. Because I don't think it has that much substance from a
Oh,
quality.
it's not the strongest Group 1. No, it's not. But
Well,
there's
we
no
know
hiding
there's
for
not
that.
strong Group 1s. I just think it's not a strong Goodwood. Like for what the Goodwood's thrown up in previous years, I reckon
that's
it's a
true.
pretty weak Goodwood.
Yeah, well, it's that case that I made at the start of the show about grand finals as well. There's,
Yes.
whose grand final is it? Watch Me Wins, basically.
Yeah.
Or Tycoon Star. Like, I can't see anything else that's completely been set for this. There's a lot of, okay, let's go here.
Yep.
But Flying for Fun, Zach Lloyd last start, he drew barrier 9, now barrier 10. The overhead, there was a very aggressive move early in the race to dart back inside a runner and be one off the fence, but it meant that he was in traffic. I think this time from the chute, probably learn from that, just hold his line a bit longer and just do his very best to tag the running line instead of go right in behind the entire pack. So then there's nothing to his outside so he can get mobile. Because he couldn't get mobile on her last start. He had to go through them and she was just a tragedy beat. And you have a look at,
I think Taj said it best on the slopes, and that's if you French fry when you should pizza, you're going to have a bad time.
Totally right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just did it the wrong way around. He's good. He's a very good instructor, Taj.
Yeah, he's good. He knows his stuff. I've been Aspen.
So let's have a look at what Flying for Fun has done since she held her own in a champion sprint on a heavy track at Flemington, which has obviously been a terrific form race. She wins her next start. She runs a career peak first up, winning the Morris McCartan. She's 9 wide, no cover second up, so completely forgive that. And then she should have won a Group 1. So she should be 3 from 4 with a huge excuse in the big miss second up at Randwick. So I think she's the most informed horse in the race. I couldn't make a stronger case.
I can't argue with any points you've made for her. I was going to say against her, but for her, I can't argue with anything. She looks to be the obvious out of that key lead in the Sangster. The one I do just want to play each way in this race. I'll probably have something on Flying for Fun as well. But I want to have something each way on Enriched, who I think is a very talented colt with plenty of upside still, and he's just an enormous price at around $23. We saw what he was able to do last year. Like he beat Flying for Fun last year. I think that was in the Fireball. He's run second to Autumn Glow in a Derby Munro. He won the Arrowfield. So he's got a pretty nice CV from 2025 to his name. This prep, things probably haven't gone his way. Like he was slowly away in the Galaxy, which cost him. He raced in restricted room. But I like the fact that he's been kept fresh. He's jumped out well at Mornington, won easily in the fastest heat of the morning there. Inside, gets away cleanly. There's a lot in the price there for Enriched to be playing him each way in this Group 1, in particularly the calibre of Group 1 this is.
Yeah, what price are you getting?
$23.
Okay, fair play to you.
$23 Enriched, but $5.50 to place. That's how we'll attack the Group 1. Anything in the 9th?
Interventional. Draws out, hopefully they're using a lot of the track. She's going to need a lot of lack, but there's enough in her price. I can get $14 some corpse. She brings the best last start figure on the Parks track where she was held up. She got clear last 200 metres. Her last 200 was very strong. Worked through the line was good. That was second up off a bit of a let up, and she's had a quiet trial since. So I think a peak run this preparation might be coming on Saturday.
Ooh, interventional big price. I like that. In the last there, that's race number 9. That rounds out the specs at Morphettville. Let's get to Caulfield now. We've got a few plays. We're back at the Heath. Track has played a little bit of funny buggers with us, it's fair to say, over the last few meeting salts.
It has. And, I've tried a little bit lightly there.
Yes.
On Saturday, I'm just looking at the radar now, and it's been raining all morning in Melbourne, but there's a big band about to move, like a proper storm as well.
Really?
About to move through Caulfield. It actually might miss you in Kensington.
Better. I've got to get out there and get some conditioning in later. What I will say...
More to the southeast.
What I will say is I think it's the coldest day in the history of Victoria
you're right.
today. I stepped outside in shorts and developed all sorts of shrivelage.
It's more than normal. It was staggering this morning.
I had an innie.
I've been used to putting a hoodie on in the morning and walking down to the coffee shop in shorts. And I'm usually all over the weather. And I opened the door and I looked outside and I was like, good grief, that's cold. But I thought, well, The Kathmandu's been in hibernation.
Yep.
So
the goose down had to get down.
Yeah, I didn't bring it out of hibernation. I thought we'll just go one more day, and I regretted it.
Yep.
It was the coldest coffee walk. It is freezing, and that temperature plays a part in track conditions as well. So I wasn't quite expecting it to be so damn cold. So, they're going to get some rain today. Maddie never spoke to Sam Bennett, who tells us they're really expecting it to be in the soft range. So rain today, some showers about tomorrow. Like, not many showers in the morning race day, but the chance of like a scattered shower, anywhere between 0 and 2 mils. But it's just cold.
Yep.
And it's cold. And in those conditions, when it's cold and it's not really that windy, it's just hard to improve. So, yeah, I am setting up for sort of maybe a soft 6.
Let's combine forces in race 2, Sults. There's a benchmark 78 over 2,000 metres. There was a very nice Australian debut by one called Submerge out there at Pakenham and looks pretty well placed second up here, stepping to 2,000.
Totally. It just looked like he was just having a look around at Pakenham, didn't it? They sort of took him out the back from a wide draw, slow tempo. He got through the line really well. You look at in Ireland, all his form, his best form was once he got to 2,000 metres plus and on wet tracks. So last up was short of his best on a dry track. Now he gets conditions to suit, up in distance. On a pretty tough day at Caulfield, he's the best bet.
I'm with you. I think he's the best bet at Caulfield as well. Submerge. What about race 3? This is a 3-year-old handicap over the mile. We're going head-to-head here.
If Submerge is the best bet, and most likely winning chance, then Himalayan would honestly send me to the top of Everest because it would be my best result.
The Nepalese Sultan.
It would. Seriously.
Yeah.
Is Everest in the Himalayas? Yeah. Nepal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Base camp's Nepal.
That's good geography.
Yeah.
So this guy was held up on a soft track at Sale. Should have got closer, this girl, I should say. And then she gets to 1,600 metres for the first time at Werribee last start and just completely runs the hands off the clock. There were 3 1,600 metre races on the day. Hers was 9.5 lengths inside maiden average. It was 2 seconds faster than the other 2 1,600 metre races. So about 12 lengths. And her last 200 metres was 5th fastest of the day. And they rode her closer to the speed. I'm staggered that she's $16 and we can get an each way price. I can get the same for her to place as your selection, Jet Smash, to win. She's the best value in Australia on the weekend.
Outside of Private Legacy, yeah?
No. She'd beat Private Legacy, Himalayan. I think she's a gun. Beat her in a match.
I reckon you might need to pay some sort of Sherpa to be getting her across the line because she's going to have to catch the Jet Smash. He was held over from last week, the Jet Smash. The Bendigo Guineas.
Yes, I wonder why. Avoid the
track.
Was it the stable, mate? Gold Coast Bell.
Gold Coast Bell was
stable,
there. Yeah.
Maybe he was looking for 16. That was his third in a row at 14.
Yeah, and perhaps you're right. But I made the case last week, and to be honest, it's just a similar case. It's just one of these. It's just going through the grades, winning 4 on the trot, doing it on fast tempos, doing it on slow tempos. The challenge here is the wide draw, obviously for Billy Egan, but. Just given the tactical speed of this horse, I don't think we'll have any issues in a race with fairly moderate tempo mapped there to be finding the top. So Jet Smash for me in the third, taking on the Nepalese Sherpa, the Himalayan climbing Everest in Sultan. What else have we got? We're heading to race number 5 on the program now. This is a benchmark 84 over the mile. A little 2-bet play for you, Belle Savoie and Far Flung.
Belle Savoie was first up off a pretty long spell in a slow race at Mornington. And she had a lot to offer and she was quite strong through the line. This is a deeper race, but for that, she gets 6.5 kilos off her back. The winner there, Seafall, has gone and won since as well.
Yeah.
And I think from barrier 1, she holds back of the lead. I am expecting... we spoke about the track conditions at Caulfield, but not so much how it could potentially play. There is a bit of a subtlety. I am expecting they sort of get off the fence, but it will be one of those days where, you're not winning from dead last. You still want to be closer to the speed, but they will get off the fence. So hopefully they angle off. She gets her chance. And Far Flung is one that comes to a race at Flemington last start that a few of these come through. And he meets them worse at the weights, I should say, quite significantly. But, you know, he was held up. He should have finished a lot closer, and he was first up at a big price. Everrain, I think some sort of question mark, testing 1,600 metres. I think he's more a 1,400 metre horse, Nation's Call. Far Flung should have beat it home. So at his best, he goes close here. So I think he's a big enough price, Far Flung, to have something
big
on second
prices.
Yep.
Bell Savire $16, Far Flung $20. How SULTS is going to play race number 5. I'm only having the 2 bets at Caulfield. I will make Bustling a lay in race number 6. I think I've probably made my point pretty clear around that in Pack Ya Nags. So we can bypass race number 6, but we can talk to race 9. This is a fillies and mares benchmark 78, 1,200 metres, one to close out the card.
A very interesting runner. It's one that's on stable debut for Matt Laurie. Who am I speaking of here? Glasgow Lass. The last time we saw her was in March of 2025 when she was beaten down the track to Machine Gun Gracie over 2,200 metres.
So this is a West is best sort of setup, SULTS.
Perhaps. She's only been on
going against everything you stand for.
She's
this
only
is the 2
been
units constitution.
On a soft track once. It was a soft 7, and she ran a big number. She's actually got some really good numbers at 1,200 metres. So maybe a testing 11 could be okay.
So are you trusting the Perth numbers now, SULTS?
I am, because I think this race is pretty even.
Okay.
I think there's a few also, you know, below their best too. I don't think you have to be that good to win this race.
So West isn't best. It's just this
This
race is worse.
Slightly better than these, yeah. But it's actually trained at Mornington now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's got nothing to do with Perth.
For Mornington.
It's trained at Mornington.
Its last 5 starts are in its last 6 starts are in Perth.
And it trialled at the Caulfield Heath. And I tell you what,
Bullet.
It darted back underneath Tuvalu like he was wearing a 900 kilo weight vest. It was a magnificent trial. I think she can run a big race.
Where's Tuvalu at?
No idea.
Yeah.
I thought he'd retired.
So he retired, and then you said it. Maybe it was just a sort of a casual day out.
Former West, now trained in Mornington, is best, is what they say.
West is pest. Yeah, it is for you. I'm very shocked at this. It feels like you're going against the
Still with Lindsay Smith, Tuvalu.
Constitution. That rounds out the specs at Caulfield. You'd say we're treading lightly there today, given perhaps the lack of plays thus far.
Well, other than Submerge, you know, all the other 3 are pretty big prices, not even close to being favourite.
Gosford.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Gosford Gold Cup Day?
Is that what they call it?
It's got the takeover target. They've got the Gold Cup, I think.
Yeah.
They've got.
Is it a Gold Cup?
They're all gold, aren't they?
It's the Coast.
Oh, the Coast.
The Coast,
Is that like a $500,000 race? How much is that? Talk to me.
They've dropped the Coast. No, it's for 500.
Okay.
Yeah. It's where it used to be worth 5 million.
I don't know why I remember the prize money of a race at Gosford. Like, how dumb is some of the stuff you remember in your life? Like, that has no right to be in my brain. None. Whatsoever.
You need to make room for some other stuff.
Seriously.
Some personal growth.
Yeah, exactly. What can we expect from the track?
Clear and sunny, good 4, railed true, light winds, tight turning track forward in midfield, always an advantage. But it's not a track that you can't run on in. Like if you get the right run.
Race 4 is a benchmark 78 over 1,000 metres.
This is the best bet on Saturday compensation.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's flying, this guy.
Is this better than Bread 'em All?
Yeah, it's better than all of them. It's better than Arran Bay. It's better than Himalaya, slightly. So this guy wins in good time 2 back, soft track 1,100 metres in a race that's just produced several winners. Then first go on a good track last start. They drop into 1,000 metres at Randwick on Anzac Day. You look through that meeting at Randwick. He was actually the only leader to win on the day and the only horse inside lane 4 to win. So it wasn't a savage pattern, but he still did something that no other horse on the program did, and he did it in extremely fast time.
Yeah.
This guy's nimble, mate. This guy's light on his feet. This is a Gosford horse.
Yeah.
He's drawn barrier 1. He goes forward. He's hard fit. His only dry track run, he ran a huge figure. Going from maiden to benchmark 78, I should say. Now, he stays same grade, but goes up a little bit in weight, but not enough to concern you. He's still got 55.5 kilos. Barrier 1, he just gets nimble and he skips away on that home bend. And he's going to be 2. They just won't
He's
catch
a good
him.
horse. I had him as my best of the day when he was on debut at Warwick
I
Farm.
backed him too off his trials.
He was like 220 into $1.75 and ran third. And he's done nothing but show he's a jet since. Fucking classic. Yeah, you can put the next episode in that basket too, Saltsy, after winning last week up there in Queensland. But compensation's your best bet anywhere on the weekend. That's race 4 at Gosford, $2.10 currently. So a little bit of specking in from $2.20 on corporates. What about race 7, the takeover target? This is a listed handicap, 1,200 metres. This is a horse I've had a little bit of a relationship with along the journey. And I'm going to be really honest with you here. I haven't looked at Gosford at all.
That's fair.
So I
don't blame you.
I want to follow you in with Romeo blindly, but you need it. This is a job interview, and I want to be able to give you the job of backing Romeo. That makes no sense whatsoever.
I should say to start for out there. That's
I'm going to do HR.
For out there.
Yeah.
And you just back him.
Yeah.
He get a soft run. He's got a lightweight. He's got good fresh form. He chased Baywakt in a trial. His recent trial, he chased some good horses as well. He just does no work from that low gate. Needs a run, but for a horse that at these weights has some ratings, this distance range to the standard, you get $26. You don't have to have much on to make him a winner.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
I'm coming with you. Romeo, Gosford, race number 7, $18. Richard Litt and
$18 is he?
Yeah, the J Ford
really
Falcon.
stacking.
The J Ford Falcon hops in the saddle from barrier 1. He'll have the XR6 engaged, mate.
Well, hopefully he's got the turbo in.
He'll have the XR6 turbo. He's not quite an 8, Romeo's, but he only needs to be a 6 in this field.
Well, over 12, I'd prefer a 6 turbo over 12 than an 8. I think you want an 8 over the mile.
You'd flip it.
But the turbo's quicker off the mark. The 8's got that higher top end speed.
Yeah, right. Okay, thanks. Old oil head. Saltsy. Hey, let's talk Gold Coast because we've also got a couple of bets to have up there on Saturday. It's the Group 2 Hollindale, which is group weight for age run over 1,800 metres. The rail is in the true position, Salts, and it looks a pretty nice day up there on a Saturday.
It does. It's going to be a dry track. And the inside section of this course has been protected for a long, long time. I'm talking it's like 7 or 8 meetings or something. I think it's going to play on pace. It can at Gold Coast. And Declan Bates was talking about he took Pride of Jenny there for a gallop the other day, and he thinks the track will suit her because it's sort of he likened it almost a bit to Moonee Valley. You can sort of get skipping on the corner.
Yep.
When she ran in that Queen of the Turf, I did expect her to drop off a lot more. I thought it was a good run, and we discussed that race after and sort of thought, that was a good enough run. She'll come back in the spring. Well, here she is 4 weeks later, after not being disgraced, up another 200 metres, no issue. We know she actually goes pretty well with her run spaced. I'm looking at this speed map, mate, and it's the same case with Pride of Jenny that we talk about that hasn't happened recently. Lady Shenandoah stuck on her back and dragged the field up. They dragged the field up to her in the All-Star Mile. She nearly clung on after no one dragged up to her in an Australian Cup. It took a tough horse, light infantryman, to beat her. I'm looking at this. I've got Future History first up, New Camp. I've got She's a Hustler, barrier 1. Probably not going to be used. Definitely not going to be used to drag the field up.
Golden Path?
Oh, yeah.
He's the only one that can be doing the donkey work, really, isn't he? How's
he going?
Well, he's been drawing wide barriers in bigger fields, and I think at his last 2, and I feel like, because I've looked to spec him in the last couple of starts, but he's just been drawn ugly. Is this the opportunity from barrier 5, couple of runs under the belt, to be more forward? I mean, I know Pride of Jenny tempos are pretty different gravy to probably what Golden Path generally has seen it like. Well, he was in that hot race with that
extremely fast race.
Yeah, he was in that hot race with that Juker, wasn't he? Yeah. So I think he might be the one at the big price, but just funny things happen in these races, man. I think I completely agree with you. I just couldn't possibly make Pride of Jenny a loser in this race, but I think this is just the biggest back and save job ever, and it's half yours back, and it's saved Pride of Jenny.
I just fear with half yours, who he's the best horse in the race.
Oh, clearly.
I just fear though that they go back from that draw, and to win a race like with Pride of Jenny off that tempo, you just got to make such a long sustained run. I think the most likely thing that happens here is she kills them. I think she could destroy them.
Yeah.
She just could, down the back of the course, as he gets to sort of halfway down the back of the course, he'll just let her stride. Nothing can go with her, and then she just skips away on that corner, and the damage is done. I just think that's the most likely thing to happen. So I have to back her to win.
Are you more confidently playing into that, given that you think the track's going to set up on pace, though?
Totally,
like, what if the track doesn't?
I'm pretty confident.
You're still
that
confident either way.
I am.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, she does funny things.
If it doesn't, then I'll be nimble on the day, and I'll have something on half yours.
Yep. No, I
think it's unlikely.
It's a cracker of a race. To be honest, it's not even the Group 1. It's the race I'm looking forward to watching the most on Saturday.
Well, you got Birdman, who was last start favourite in Group 1.
We haven't even spoken about She's a Hustler.
Hustler was terrific. She's up against Pride of Jenny.
I reckon she's a future star, mate.
Totally, yep.
Yeah,
totally.
I'm big time in the She's a Hustler camp.
We've actually got 2 Melbourne Cup winners in this race.
Even though she was beaten by Private Legacy in the Santeria last year.
Are you hearing me here?
Yeah.
We've got 2 Melbourne Cup winners in the one race.
Oh, we do too. Yep. I didn't see how
which is extraordinary.
He's paying the same price as he was in the Melbourne Cup for this night's choice. He's at $101.
Yeah.
He's yeah, okay.
So good race. But I just can't see anything going with her. I just can't. She's just too fit.
Yep. Fair call. The Gold Coast Guineas is a good race too. Race number 8 on the program. You've got Beedman's been pretty well supported at around $3. Beskar $4. I'm with the filly on the third line of betting SULTS, which is Nepo Baby. She's absolutely flying at the moment. She was beaten under a length just at her past 3 starts. 2 back behind Savvy Halley, and last start was shaded by Plaintiff. That was in the PJ Bell. And that reads as pretty good form for this race as well. And she's got that low draw. She's going to be settled right up on speed. She's going to get every opportunity to be winning this race, Nepo Baby. And I think she's flying, low flying. So I want to be with her in the Gold Coast Guineas at around $7. Let's get to 2 units now. Our best backs and lays from around the country. What are you thinking?
The best is Compensation, race 4, Gosford. I just think he goes forward and he just skips away around that tight circuit. Also, the best value is Himalayan, really keen on that each way. And I'm pretty keen to be against Mating Call at that price. I think there's a lot of chances in that Centaurea.
Yep. My best back is Bred 'em All in the second at Morphettville. 3-year-old at start 2 who ran really good time on debut. I think he can go on with it. My best value is Private Legacy in the Santeria Stakes at around $19. And if I haven't made it abundantly clear in the show, the favourite that I think will get beaten is Bustling in race number 6 at Caulfield. 62 kilos over 2 years out of the game.
Mark Zara on.
Sorry.
None of these other ones could have gone to an Everest.
Yeah, no, good call, man. What Everest? The one that Red Zell won. How long ago was it? Come on, man. That's how I'll be playing. But a stack of specs there for the Army SULTS across 4 states. Are you not entertained?
I am.
Good shit.
Morphettville's outstanding.
It is outstanding.
Yeah.
We love it over there at Morphettville, and it is grand final day over there. I was going to run with that at the top of the show, but Goodwood Day's grand final day for me. It's a cracking program of black type racing. Good luck playing along on Saturday units. We'll be back next week right here on the 2 Units podcast.